Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S66018, Arthur and the Scare Your Pants Off Club. Chapter 1. I'm hungry, said D.W. She was sitting in the kitchen waiting for breakfast. Be patient, sweetie, said her mother. Your father is almost ready. D.W. drummed her fingers on the table. She didn't like to be patient. It took too long. And the only thing worse than being patient was being told to be patient. Just another moment, said Mr. Reed. He was busy at the stove, lightly browned, a little powdered sugar. Yum, said D.W. She licked her lips. Yummy, yum, said Baby Cat in her high chair. She licked her lips too. Don't take too long, dear, said Mrs. Reed. The kids are revving up. Mr. Reed picked up the platter and brought it toward the table. "Dada," he announced. "By special request, my world-famous Whoopie waffles, the favorite of presidents, professional athletes, and rock stars. There's a whole grain goodness in every bite." "Whoopie," said D.W. "Now, if I could just have your plate, I'll be happy to serve." Arthur rushed in. "Morning, Mom, Dad." Gotta run. Oops, Arthur unexpectedly collided with his father, knocking the waffles high into the air. The D.W. gasped. Arthur pointed, but Mr. Reed sprang into action. He caught the falling waffles on the platter, then dished them onto the table. D.W. clapped. "My hero," she said. Her father took a bow. "Lucky I spent that summer waiting on tables in the Catskills." "More," said Baby Kate. Mr. Reed smiled. "I don't think so, honey. Let's not push my luck." "Sorry," said Arthur. "I guess I wasn't looking where I was going. Guess not." His mother agreed. "But why are you in such a hurry?" Arthur sat down to it. "I have to get to the library." He stuffed half of a waffle into his mouth. "Slow down a little," said his mother. "Drink some juice. You don't want to choke." "What's at the library? They can't wait for waffles." "New Scare Your Pants Off Club book will be there today. I want to be the first in line." Mrs. Reed was impressed. "You're going to the library on a Saturday? Of your own free will? Wow. Hard to argue with that, but aren't you exaggerating a little? Are these books really flying off the shelves?" "Just about. They are really popular. I waited 3 weeks for the last one. Why do you think everyone likes them so much?" asked his mother. Arthur wasn't sure. "Maybe it's because they are sort of scary and fun at the same time." "An unusual combination," said Mr. Reed. "Right," said Arthur. He swallowed another bite and dashed for the door. Then he was gone. "I don't see what the big deal is," said D.W., "but I think it's great that Arthur is going to the library." "Why is that?" "Because it leaves more waffles for me." Chapter 2. Arthur hurried down the street. He was thinking about the new book he would soon be reading. He wondered how he would get the pants scared off him this time. Last once. Which is which? Which is which? Had started him shivering by the third page. Arthur jumped high over a storm grate. He didn't want some creature from the underworld rising through the hole to grab him. It was just a that sort of carelessness that had cost Susie so dearly in Night of the Cornstalker. Arthur turned the corner and saw the library ahead of him. Oh no. Outside the building, a long line of kids had already formed. It snaked down the stairs and along the sidewalks. "Hi, Arthur." "Over here." At the end of the line, Francine, Buster, Sue Ellen, and the Brain were waving to him. Arthur trudged over to join them. Guess we should have met earlier, said Francine. Yeah, like just before dawn. Hey, let's not jump to conclusion. Who knows? Maybe they are just all here to study. On a Saturday? Sue Ellen yawned. Only on a Saturday, she added. Arthur sighed. I don't think so. Buster? Besides, everyone I just passed is wearing a Cypark shutter hat. Even once we get in, said Francine, there won't be any new books left. I guess we could check out some of the old ones to read again, said Arthur. Buster nodded. Yeah, how about Curse of the Mummy's Breath? Talk about not brushing your teeth. Or Skeletons in the Closet, said the brain. I wore the same clothes for a week after I read that one. The clouds rolled overhead and the sun disappeared. Don't forget the scariest one of all, said a zombie substitute teacher. Ooh, everyone sat together. They all shuddered. I wonder why that TV truck is here, said Buster. He pointed across the street. Maybe the reporters are fans too, said Sue Ellen. Or maybe, said the brain, it's news to see a line outside the library on a Saturday morning. Never mind that, said Francine. Look, the door's opening. They all turned to watch. The library doors creaked open slowly. A sinister shadow appeared. Within, slowly moving forward, the sun came back out as the shadow reached the staff. Good morning, said Miss Turner, the librarian. This is quite a turnout. The keys cheered. She held up a hand to quiet the crowd. It's a pleasure to see you all. However, I have some bad news. Anyone who has come to check out the new Scare Your Pants Off Club book today will be unable to do so. In fact, all of the books in this series have been removed from our shelves until further notice. The kids were stunned. They let out a shriek of disbelief. I've been waiting for an hour. No fair. What happened? Mr. Turner held a finger to her lips. That's all I can say at this time. Naturally, you're all welcome to come in, pick out something else, but quietly. Remember, this is a library. She went back inside. Doors closed behind her, and nobody rushed to open them again. Chapter 3. I don't get it, said Arthur as the keys walked away. Who'd want to get rid of our books? Not all our books. Francine reminded him, just to scare your pants off club books. Why pick on them? Asked Buster. Nobody had a quick answer. Hey, said Sue Ellen, look at that. She pointed to a TV store across the street. The Cypark logo filled the screen. Everyone crossed the street to find out what was going on. In suburban Elwood City, said the news reporter, a parents group has chased some children's books off the shelves of the public library. The picture showed the library and all the kids waiting in line. That's us, said the brain. How did we get on TV so fast? Asked Buster. I imagine, said Brain, that they used the satellite downfeed to get these pictures back to the studio. Shh, said, I want to hear the rest. The parents group called the Pause, Parents Against the Weird Story, says the scary stories are bad for kids. We try unsuccessfully to reach E.A. DePaul, the author of the books, for comment, hoping to build more support. Pause is holding a rally for concerned parents. They will meet on the library steps at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The news moved on to other stories. Red alert, Buster shouted. If we ever want the pants scared off us again, we've got to do something and fast. But what? Asked Francine. The brain scratched his head. Generally speaking, he said, minors have limited access to legal recourse or arbitration. Which means, said Arthur, that there isn't much we can do. He looked around at his friend. But I'm not willing to give up yet. We have never given up before. Sure we have, said Buster. Lots of time. We're good at giving up, said Sue Ellen. Not when it's important, said Arthur. Remember the time you helped clean out my garage so I could go with you to see Galaxy Avengers? Arthur remembered it well. Francine was carrying 2 heavy bags of trash. The brain was stacking paint cans, and Arthur was lining up 2x4s against the wall. Buster was sweeping the floor. When he finished, he started balancing the broom on his nose. Suddenly, the broom fell off, knocking over the 2x4s. They fell onto the paint cans, which opened and spilled paint everywhere. The Francine was so startled that she dropped the trash bags, and all the garbage tumbled out. I remember that, said Francine. Nice going, Buster. It was an accident, said Buster. It could have happened to anyone. The point is, said Arthur, we made it to the movies. The next day, said the brain, after we cleaned up everything. Okay, said Arthur, so we hit a few bumps along the way. What about the time Buster needed help with his math? Buster was sitting on his couch, deep in concentration. His homework and math books were spread out around him. Come on, Buster, you can get this. And Francine were wearing the number 7 and 3 on their chest. Pal was standing between them with an axe, the multiplication symbol, draped over him. Brain had an equal sign taped to his forehead. Think quickly, said the brain. My forehead is beginning to itch. 21, said Buster. The answer was 21. I still remember it. See, I had forgotten about teaching Buster to multiply. If we can do that, maybe we can do this too. I know, said Buster. Let's go on strike. No more homework till we get our books back. Arthur sighed. The brain folded his arm. Francine rolled her eyes. All right, all right. It was worth a try, but who has a better idea? Nobody did, not yet. Anyway, chapter 4. Just after lunch, Arthur, Buster, Francine, the brain, and Sue Ellen met at the sugar bowl. What we need to do, said the brain, is quantitatively demonstrate that we are not alone in our opinion. Huh? Said Buster. He means, said Francine, we have to show Paws that a lot of kids want their books back. I wonder where Murphy is, said Francine. I called and left a message for her to join us. We can't wait for her, said Buster. We have to move. We have to take action. I have one idea, said Francine. We could get signatures on a petition. That's what my mom did to save the old City Hall building. If we can show the Paws people how much support the books have, maybe we can change their mind. But it can't just be kids' support, said the brain. We'll need adults too. Do we have enough time? The Paws rally is tomorrow. Well, said Arthur, there's only one way to find out. Kids split into several groups and spread out through town. Buster and Arthur teamed up on Arthur's front lawn. Good morning, Elwood City. Buster shouted into a megaphone. 2 cars whizzed by without stopping. Step right up, Buster went on. See the amazing Arthur perform feats of wonder? Then sign your name to save our books. Arthur was wearing a diving mask and bathing suit. He was trying to balance on a rope above an inflatable wading pool. Buster, are you sure about this? Arthur asked. He didn't feel very amazing. He didn't think he looked amazing either. It's like a commercial, Buster whispered. Before we can get them to sign, we have to get their attention now. Go ahead. Arthur took a breath, started along the rope, balancing himself with the broom. A few kids passing by stopped to watch. Easy there. Oh, back. Arthur leaned one way, then the other. At the bottom, as the broom twirled like a propeller, he fell into the water. Kids laughed. Again, they shouted. The amazing Arthur will be happy to perform again. But first, a word from our sponsor. He pulled out the petition and explained what they were trying to do. While Arthur dried off with the towel, the kids signed their names. Meanwhile, Francine and Sue Ellen were jumping double dutch in the park. A line of kids was waiting for a turn to jump. Francine was chanting, Paws has taken our books away, so I'm asking for your help today. Line up now, sign your name. That's the point of my rope game. As each kid finished, he or she signed the petition. Next, said Francine over at the bus stop. Brain was trying to educate the waiting passengers. He had covered the blackboard with a flowchart, equation, and names of books. As you can see, he told the crowd, we predict that the impact on school performance will be geometric. Note the marked rise in the learning curve. He pointed with his pointer, but passengers shook their heads. A few covered their ears. It is our hypothesis, the brain went on, that recreational reading yields many educational benefits. Therefore, we invite you to sign our petition. Will sign, says someone. If you promise to stop explaining things to us. Yes, please, by all means. We agreed. They crowded around the brain's clipboard. He smiled. If everyone else was having the same success he was, they might have a chance after all. Chapter 5. After Arthur and Buster had collected all the signatures they could in the neighborhood, they went to the park to gather more. Are you sure you don't want to be the amazing Arthur here too? Arthur was sure he had been amazing enough for one day. Let's split up. That way we can cover more ground. Buster headed for the sitting area around the pond while Arthur set out across the field. For Arthur had trouble catching up with people who were rollerblading or biking or just playing games. Sorry, we're busy. Catch me later. Not now, we are at match point. It was a little discouraging. He did spot an old woman tending some plants near a fountain. Someone who wasn't on the move, he walked over to introduce himself. Excuse me, ma'am. Could I speak to you for a moment? You already are, said the woman. Glasses were perched low on her nose. It's a little late to ask my permission. Arthur hesitated. I guess that is true. It's for the good cause, though. At least we think it is. And what is this good cause, may I ask? Our parent group has had our favorite books removed from the library. Arthur explained, we are trying to get them back, but we want to show that a lot of people feel the same way we do. So we have started up this petition. Would you sign it for us? Woman paused. I see I'm not the only one doing volunteer work today. She gave Arthur a long look. It all depends on the books. I wouldn't want to go against your parents' wishes. You wouldn't be. My parents like me to read different things. My father said it's like the food groups. It's healthy to have a little bit of everything. Good advice. Besides, these books are our favorite. The Scare Your Pants Off Club book. Back up on a no. Really? The Scare Pants Off Club? Do you read them? Arthur, he shook her head. Do I read them? Of course, I haven't missed a single one, the woman frowned. The woman frowned. Then the situation is serious. Maybe I should speak to the parents group myself. She stood up and gathered her gardening tools. Don't give up, Arthur. You and your friends are doing a good thing. Arthur looked puzzled. Sure, thanks, I think. He watched her leave. Then he looked down at his clipboard. Hey, wait, you forgot to sign. But the woman was gone. The end.